Today's lecture is about ideas. Ideas for your YouTube channel. How do you come up with ideas for videos? Idea generation. Now, YouTube is a real grind. That is what you hear a lot of creators refer to it as. Because you're basically expected to come up with videos on a consistent basis, usually weekly, sometimes more, sometimes less, but it's got to be consistent and you really can never take a break. It's not like TV where during the summer the TV shows go away. On YouTube, every day you got to be on and working. And it can be intimidating because you are like, can I even keep coming up with ideas in perpetuity? I remember when I was first starting YouTube and I had like 150 subscribers and I posted somewhat irregularly, but I tried to do once a week. I was really worried to do more than once a week because I was like, what happens? What if I run out of ideas? What if I use too many good ideas in a row? Shouldn't I save my good ideas till later? And you can take this whole principle to any kind of artwork. Even with something like novel writing. It's like I have this really good idea for a novel, but I'm not a great writer. So should I use this idea now and possibly waste it and then maybe not have another idea later in my life? Crap. So it's the same with video making. Do I use this now? Do I wait so that I have another thing? Let's talk about all of that. First of all, there is something that I like to think of as the creative well. Everyone has a different creative well. Some people's are deeper, some people's are more shallow. But it just means how much can you create before you're like bone dry and you can't create anything else. So for some people that might be on YouTube, one video a week, might be one video a month, might be one video every day, something like that. But here's one thing is I think your creative well is always a little bit deeper than you think it is. There's always that fear that I'm gonna reach the bottom of it, but I don't think that it is quite as shallow as you think it is. So in my early days of YouTube, I stepped it up to 3 videos a week because I wanted to push myself and see, can I do it? And you know what? I think putting out more videos was really important in getting myself established into a routine, getting comfortable with everything having to do with video creation and just being on YouTube, establishing a presence. I don't know that I could have done it if I had done one a week. Maybe I would have put out one better video a week, but I don't know. I think in some ways on YouTube, volume matters just as much as the quality. The quantity matters almost as much as the quality, unfortunately. You know, YouTube isn't exactly high art, so I think that quantity matters. And there was a period where I even tried making a video every day to push myself and see, do I have it in me to do it? And it's like, yeah, but there's a graph, there's an axis, 2 intersecting axes, that's what a graph is. The quality will start to really decline, like there's diminishing returns with doing more and more. So you need to find that for yourself, and I would suggest do it by pushing yourself. Try making a video every day for a week without going into it with ideas. And the amazing thing is, one idea will just keep coming after another. You use one up, another one comes up. And sometimes if you hold on to an idea too long, it blocks other ideas from coming. So don't be afraid to use up your ideas, because there typically are more on the other side. Now, what happens if you do actually kind of run out of ideas? What do you do? Or maybe you just feel scared. You don't want to just jump into it without some kind of backup plan. So the first bit of advice is to be constantly watching YouTube for inspiration. Not only that, but watch a wide variety of things outside of YouTube. You know, read a lot. Just look for a bunch of different sources to peak your inspiration. I think I mixed 2 different phrases there. It's a little bit late at night. And when you're watching stuff on YouTube, try to watch a generally broad cross-section of things. I'm not saying you need to get terribly invested in a bunch of channels, but just watch a video here and there from YouTubers making something completely different than what you normally watch, than what you make, especially if they are successful, to see what is working for them and how can I maybe steal some of that and make it my own. Another great thing to do is either have a journal, a physical notebook, or just a Google Doc or spreadsheet where you can write down every little idea that comes into your head. I have one and I call it my dump file. So whenever I have any stupid idea for a video, even if I know it's half bake, it's half bake, I throw it into that document. And then sometimes I go back when I'm like out of ideas, I go back through it and I see some of these and some of them are garbage, but some of them I'm like, oh, actually, that reminds me, I thought that was a really good idea, and actually I still think it's a good idea, and maybe I can spin something out of it. And maybe once you start to get comments, you can put in comments that suggest stuff. Or when you watch other people's videos and you hear a little bit of something that you're like, I could spin a video off of that idea, write that down. So then eventually you just have this huge random pile of ideas. And sometimes it's good to be able to go into that and remind yourself, just like Dumbledore's pensieve, you know what I'm talking about. Go back into it, dip your mind in, and see what ideas you had in the past. I mean, I keep explaining it over and over as though it's a really complicated thing. It's not. And then lastly, you have to just learn to embrace the fact that you don't know where the next idea is coming from. Like even if you write down a bunch of stuff, even if you plan out in advance, and planning can be good. You get a calendar, you write out, you get your ideas, you plan them out, so you're like, I don't feel so much anxiety anymore. But you also don't have to do that. Like you can play it by ear, or you can think of more general things like this month I'm going to talk about this. That's sort of what I do. I get like a general direction because on YouTube things change so fast that I don't want to be locked in really far in advance. So the most that I solidly plan is maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes a month out, I'll be like, I'm doing this video, then this video, then this video. But yeah, I like to stay flexible because it's such an ephemeral thing. You know, you make a video, people watch it, and 3 days later, it's forgotten. And what I was saying is, just accept that you don't always know where the next idea is coming from, and that's part of it. That's part of the grind, is that you just keep making stuff, and maybe you have to one day dip into your dump file, and then one day you watch someone else's video and you're like, I'm just gonna do the same thing they did but put my spin on it, because that's really a lot of what YouTube is everyone doing the same thing in different ways. And in a way, that's kind of interesting. You get to see a bunch of people's different perspectives, different takes on the same thing. And you know, the viewers on YouTube, surprisingly, I mean, I'm one of them, enjoy watching kind of the same stuff over and over again, just in different ways. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. So don't feel like you have to be like super original and super creative every single video you make. It's a little bit more of a baby steps of creativity. Anyway, that's it for today's lecture. Thank you for watching. Join me next time at the College of Tuber Studies.